everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike. T-Roy's here. Oh, hold on.
I'm here somewhere.
There he is.
There I am.
There's Big T. How are you, pal?
I'm good, man. I play musical chairs around here. It's hard to keep up.
I know. I'm sorry. We're going to have to get like a permanent spot. This is just T-Roy's. No one touch it.
Yeah, well, that used to be.
Yeah.
There and there. And so, bouncing around. We do what we got to do.
Travis is here. Thank you so much, Trav, for coming in, buddy. I appreciate you taking the red eye to be here today and help out. You can't believe the anxiety that I had until you texted.
Oh,
so I'll be there. Yeah,
I'm happy to be here.
I'm serious, man. It's always something, but having an engineer here is just relieving. And why are we here? We're not usually here on a Friday, but we got one Mr. Jimmy Bones in studio.
Yeah.
Hey,
How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Does he need to get on that mic more?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
How are you,
I'll
buddy?
jump over there in a bit.
Good.
And, check it out.
Good.
Jimmy Bones. For those, I don't know who wouldn't know, but part of Twisted Brown Trucker, Kid Rock's Twisted Brown Trucker band, original member, I believe.
Yeah.
From the get.
Yes, sir.
JimmyBones.com if you're looking for tour dates, merch.
Yeah.
At Jimmy Bones on Twitter, Jimmy Bones Music on YouTube. You made it easy, but there is a.
Make sure you spell it with an I-E.
Yeah. What happens if you don't spell it with an I-E?
If you spell Jimmy, you get a picture of Snoop Dogg as Jimmy Bones, the zombie pimp.
Is that true?
That's true. That was in a movie. Yeah, he played a pimp, a zombie pimp named Jimmy Bones, but it was spelled Jimmy. So
Okay.
that's not me.
That's not you.
Jimmy.
Well, this is fun, man. I'm excited for people to hear you play a little bit and talk about your career. The piano sounds awesome, man.
I'm digging it.
Yeah. You think it sounds all right?
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing now? You're going in the studio tomorrow?
Tomorrow I hit the studio. We're going in the Funky D studio, Tino Gross's studio that they make all your dreams come true. There,
Yeah.
You know. Your wildest dreams will come true if you record it.
So this is
if you record at Funky D Records,
Yeah. So this is your band.
Yeah, this is my stuff. I put out a record that Tino produced in 2017 called Snake Bitten Wandering.
Yeah. Love it.
And thank you. And so we put that out. It was a lot of fun doing. I had a lot of great guests on. I had Wayne Kramer,
Yeah,
from the
MC5
playing guitar on a couple 3 songs. In fact, there was one song, "Bring It On Over," where he's like, "Hey, there's no bass on this. Hand me that precision bass right there," and he threw down a bass track.
Really?
Yeah. So
really nice guy.
that was
We
fun.
met him at the premiere of the Red Wings documentary, Russian 5.
Oh, the Russian 5. What a great doc.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love that.
Fantastic. Jenny Fedorovich and Josh
Yeah.
Reel that did that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
And we were with McCarty, Darren.
I know Darren very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So we were with Darren, sitting with him at that, and Wayne sat right with us, and it's like, holy shit, here's Wayne from MC5.
Yep.
He's doing something really cool too.
Yeah, he's got a thing called Jail Guitar Doors, and what he does is he provides guitars and kind of music, whatever therapy, but teaches trustees, inmates, people that are incarcerated, but have musical ability or wanting to lean towards that. And they get together and jam and produce some songs and records and everything, and it's just a very, very positive thing, man.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a charity. He provides the guitars and everything else.
He's been doing that for a while.
God
too.
bless him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. In fact, Tino Gross was part of one that they did at Jackson Prison, and Tino went with him all week, and he's like, "Man, you wouldn't believe this. I'm in there, and I'm with these guys, and they're just wanting to jam and write a song, and we produced it, and then did a show at the end, so."
That's great.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool
You mentioned Snake Bitten Wandering.
Yeah.
I started watching the video. I love the album. What comes through to me when I listen to that album? I go, holy shit, this guy's responsible for so much of the Kid Rock band sound.
At least what's coming on that keyboard.
Like seriously, I hear it. I'm like, oh yeah, this could be.
But I've co-written
Yeah.
some of the songs, and Uncle
I-
Cracker's
Cracker,
stuff and everything.
dude. When as I was studying, I was rewatching some Uncle Cracker's "Follow Me" and stuff, and it's like this
Yeah.
easily could have been a Kid Rock song.
Right, I think
Easily.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did all the Follow Me. I did all the piano on it, all the organ, and then I said to Mike Bradford, who was engineer, I said, "This needs some harmonies. Let's do some like, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles or whatever kind of, harmonies going on." And so all those backing vocals that you hear that's all my voice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I watched the Snake Bitten Wandering video too, and there's a part you're playing, obviously the piano.
Yeah.
and then the snake, and I was like, "Is that real? Did they really put a snake on a
Yeah,
skateboard?"
those were two snakes. Tony D'Annunzio, who directed and produced Louder Than Love, the story of the Grandy Ballroom. He did that movie and won an award for it. And he directed the Snake Bitten Wandering video, and we did that at 20 Front Street out in Lake Orion. So it was me, Tino, Mike Marshall on bass, Johnny B. Bedanjic, legendary drummer. He played a lot of the drums on Snake Bitten Wandering, and that's who's recording with me on these new things tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not to cut you off, but I love one of the lyrics in particular in that song is one of my favorite. Like, I think of Smashing Pumpkins, despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. It's such a great lyric,
Right.
When you run with dogs, you lay down with them
When
too.
you run with dogs, you lay down with them too.
I love
that
it.
Means, that means, the kind of like you live by the sword, you die by the sword,
Yeah.
or whatever, man.
Yeah.
If you're going to jump in, you're going to get dirty.
Yeah, it's such a cool line. It's got
Thanks,
such a
man.
obviously you've got a blues rock and roll background.
Yeah, definitely.
Jazz guy.
Not so much jazz. I don't have the training, and I've never had a piano lesson in
Get
my
out.
life.
Really?
No, I just
That's hilarious.
No.
All self-taught?
very much so. I had some training on a Hammond organ. My mom and dad bought a Hammond years and years ago, and from Grinnell's, and you got 10 free lessons, and it was really more for my mom and my sister.
We had an organ growing up. I had
And
lessons.
I was out there playing baseball and hockey and,
Yeah.
fishing and, just terrassing all over the place. And they were like, "Hey, you want to try this?" But I really had a thing for music since the first Beatles records and Rolling Stones
Everyone
records
says that.
that I first heard.
Yeah.
And so I said, "Yeah, sure, let's try." And so I went in, and they kind of fell off, and I kind of ran with it. And
Obviously.
and
So how do you self-teach yourself? Like,
well, I mean, I
YouTube
did have
wouldn't have been
some
a thing back then. So it's not like you could Google it or YouTube like how to play the piano.
I had basic. I learned how to read somewhat.
Okay.
I learned, how to apply it to the keyboards and everything, organ. But then I really was like, all right, they'd give me these lesson sheets and everything, and I'd go in and I'd be like, I didn't practice that, but I learned this. And I'd play some stuff that I just learned listening to my records.
Really? So
And-
you must have had a special ear for it then. Like, how could you just listen to something? I've heard
it's been a
musicians
little
say
bit
that,
of a
but-
blessing, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that I can hear something and pick it off pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's not so much a training thing. It's just
Feel more than
something-
anything.
It's a feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I would do that, and they'd tell my mom and dad, well, yeah, he's not serious about this, but he can, he knows enough to do what he needs
he
to
can-
do.
he can cause some trouble.
Yeah, so I stopped taking lessons in that, but I still kept on, and then I really leaned more into piano because I was really listening to more of the like Billy Preston stuff that he did with the Stones and the Beatles and Nicky Hopkins, and then really started leaning into a lot of the blues records. Otis Spann that played with Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf,
Yeah.
and Lafayette Leak and a lot of those guys. But and then Traffic and the Spencer Davis group. So I'm a huge Steve Winwood fan.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that's
Nice.
I do that in my own show, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool because we get to this one part and I end up mashing it up with "Praise You" by Fatboy Slim, and it just, you know, it naturally goes to you.
Yeah. So, I get confused of what was on the air. and
I
what was
get
off.
confused.
It's terrible.
In fact, I woke up pretty confused.
Yeah, so did I. But the snakes, did we finish the snake story on the piano?
Oh, so yeah. So Tony D'Annunzio was the director on Snake Bitten Wander, and he's like, "You're not bothered by snakes, are you?" And I said, "No." And I wouldn't want to like face down a cobra or a black mamba or something like that, or a rattler, but snakes don't. He's like, "Well, I've got these two boa constrictors, and their names are Alice and Cooper, and I'd like to bring them out if you could be playing and have one just on the keyboard, if you wouldn't mind, just a few shots." And I'm like, "No, let's do it."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "How'd you end up with these snakes?" So it was the year that the San Francisco Giants won the World Series.
Okay.
So the MLB wanted to do a video, and they were bringing up a lot of the minor leaguers, to fill up the lineup. But they wanted to kind of do a hazing thing with them, and they were going to open up the guy's locker, and these snakes were going to be in there videoing it. The rookies or the guys that they brought up from the farm team.
So they brought Allison Cooper.
So Tony was there. He ended up videoing them. Well, then they didn't want to take the snakes back, so Tony ended up, adopting them.
Really?
Then after they wanted him to come back and be in the parade and everything. He was like, "Well, I can't get out there and everything." So, but anyways, he raised these snakes, and that's how he came about them.
Yeah.
They were actually part of the World Series San Francisco Giants in 2015 or something.
Yeah, no, even years.
Oh, the
10,
even
12,
years.
14.
14, okay.
10, 12,
All right.
14. And
all right.
Was 14 against the Tigers? Was that the last one?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was either 12 or 14.
Right.
Swept the Tigers.
Hey,
I love it. Yeah, you got the old school Tiger
though?
shirt on.
You know what?
Representing.
They're looking respectable. What are they at? Two games out.
I don't.
now?
They
won last night
They've been
against the
hot.
White Sox.
They've been hot for sure.
Yeah. They're looking
I noticed
good.
your.
Look, it's fun, man. It's fun.
I noticed your gold chain.
Oh, yeah. This was it's the eagle.
That's on Bob's back, right?
This is the tattoo that is on Bob's back.
Yeah.
And he had these all made for us out of gold, and it says American Badass on it. So we
nice.
each have one. It's kind of like, everybody in the band has one, and then certain people have been gifted them if they're really in.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Chelios might have one. There's a few other people that.
The Red Wings are the best.
Oh,
Those guys.
yeah. I'm all in on the Iser plan.
Yeah, so is my brother. My brother's just die hard. He believes too.
Hey, he did it in Tampa.
Yeah.
You don't come in to an organization and get named captain as a rookie and then just tough it out and play your entire career for one organization and win, the amount of Stanley Cups that he won.
Yeah.
And play with a blew out knee that you're getting shot up every day and painkillers and this and that. I mean, he described it to me.
Yeah.
That one cup where his
knee
was just,
knee. Oh.
Yeah, I think it was against Washington that year.
Was it?
The second one, yeah.
Okay. In the playoffs, the finals against Washington, you mean?
In the finals, yeah.
I believe
one.
Chris Draper told me once that Scotty Bowman started the grind line. I want to say it was that Washington series, like game 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it was. They started the grind line to open the game.
To open the game, right.
And Draper's like, yeah, I'm not really proud of it, but he pissed his pants as the national anthem's going on. He's so fucking nervous and freaked out. His skates are going a million miles an hour. He's just standing still, but just doing this, and he's like, I pissed my goddamn pants during the I was like, wow, man.
Just like his slap shot where he's playing all drunk, and he's like, if I don't get, I'm going to piss, right?
Well, I'm glad I noticed that chain. When Bob first got that tattoo, he came in studio. I was working on the Drew and Mike show locally, and he came in studio with VH1. And VH1 had a whole camera crew and brought him in, and he showed us that tattoo. He'd just gotten it
Yeah.
And I think if you look at the shot or wherever that video, I don't even know what that
Oh, it's
video ever aired.
incredible. I think I don't know how many days it took. But.
Yeah, but I held his shirt up while the crew was filming it, and we're
Was
sort
it
of like-
healed up at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
wasn't all
it
red.
wasn't like brand
Bleeding.
new. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Cracker got when he was still the DJ, and he got a tattoo before the show, and he would wear his white T-shirts,
Yeah.
And I just look at his sleeve, and it's just blood coming through his sleeve,
Yeah, that's awesome. And where do the Old English D?
Yeah,
You guys all have an Old English, or a lot of you do.
Yeah.
I know Kraus does,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Bob does,
you
and
yeah.
you've got it.
Yeah, we
Did you guys decide to do that, or because it's really cool? It really is.
It was after a show. We played the Aragon in Chicago, the Scaragon.
Yeah.
It was like, and it's on the south side of Chicago. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Oh, yeah.
Great venue, really cool venue.
Was this a theater or a?
Yeah, it was more of a theater, like maybe the size of bigger than the Royal Oak.
Okay.
Between the Royal Oak and what we call the Fillmore now. the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah.
But and Bob's like, we're all going to get tattoos after the show. So we went, and I don't remember the name of the place, but it's sort of a well-known tattoo place. And yeah, that's what we got. Stephanie didn't get one because she's from Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
So she was the only one that didn't get that.
So you and Kraus and Bob and many other guys all got it then?
Yeah.
How many people do you think you guys influenced to get the Old English D
I
tattoo?
know a few. Yeah. One of my good buddies got one. He got the old Jersey T-shirt, the really old fat,
Yeah.
which I prefer over when they changed to the hat logo.
Yeah.
I prefer the old D that's more block, and then the kind of skinnier one on the
Yeah.
hat. And then they match the hat and the jerseys in recent years, and to me it looks lost.
Really? I kind of like
I'm a more traditionalist anyway.
I think I like that the hat.
You like the new one?
I
You
think
like the
I
hat
do.
one? All right.
I think so. Yeah, I mean it's a personal choice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it doesn't. I don't hate it, but I kind of miss that old one.
Yeah.
There was a certain look to it. So, anyways, my one friend has that, and I think Marshall had when his D is like the old.
Yeah, for
one that
sure.
Marshall Mathers
Yeah.
has, yeah.
You've worked with Marshall before, right?
I haven't worked with him. No, I have
No.
not. I've never recorded with him.
I thought he was on. Didn't he make an appearance on one of the albums?
He did on Devil Without a Cause. He did make an appearance, but this was after we were done tracking it, and then Bob had it out in L.A. and they were mixing it, and he brought Marshall in the studio and told Jason Flom, "This guy's going to be huge," and he put him on the end of "Fuck Off," I believe. It's
Yeah.
the song that he's on.
Yeah.
He's on the tail end of that.
It's
And does his,
Yeah.
very, very original.
yeah.
You
He's
know.
brilliant.
Yeah.
No
God.
way around it.
Absolutely.
It was a really cool time. A few years back to have
Especially for Detroit.
well, that's where I'm going with it. Is to have literally two of the biggest artists on planet Earth
Right.
from Detroit, and proudly. Madonna left Detroit and was like,
Yeah.
never considered herself a Detroiter, even though she grew up in the area. But
Right.
having Kid Rock, I think it meant so much to the people of Detroit. Like, everyone thinks of Detroit like, oh, that's where you go to get shot, and it's just a shithole. And but there's a lot of culture and a lot of proud people from here.
Well, there is. I mean, the music is synonymous, especially,
Yeah.
and even jazz and everything, going back to the days of when the Greystone Ballroom and places like that from the 40s and 50s, you know, even pre-Baker's Keyboard Lounge,
Yeah. But is it possible that I used to see Robert Bradley at that place, at Baker's?
No, I don't believe you. Don't quote me. I don't know of it. You
Yeah.
know, but it could be. He was always in Eastern Market.
Yeah.
And then when I was in his band, then I was with him before Kid Rock.
Right. It's an interesting story.
That's kind of what led me into Kid Rock.
Yeah, you want to explain that story for people that don't know?
Yeah, I don't mind at all. It's funny because I was playing for years. I've gone back. I say that I was doing clubs and playing while Bob and Cracker was still riding on their big wheels.
Yeah.
And Krause and all of those guys.
Yeah.
A little older. And I played Lily. I had a band, Jimmy Bones and the Grave Robbers.
Yeah.
And then I used to hire out as a working musician, and I played with piano with Bootsy X and the Love Masters, and there was another band, Art Lysak from the Mutants, and Karen Monster and Bootsy and Pasadena from the Mutants, and we had a band called the New Barbiturates, and we would just, all of their originals we would play. But I played Lily's, Paychecks,
Paychecks
St.
Lounge.
Andrews, the Hamtramck Pub.
Yeah.
Kind of more of the, I gravitated into more of the punk stuff and the new music stuff. And then the blues clubs, Moby Dick's and Sully's, and I played with Mimi Harris and the Snakes. Played in her band for quite a bit before Robert. But anyways, I get a call from Mike Nira and Big Chief. They were on Sub Pop Records. He's like, "Hey, these guys are doing their record release party. Mac Avenue Skull Games was the album," and I wasn't doing anything at the time. I kind of just moved away from it. My first daughter was born, and I just decided, I'm going to move away. I just want to be home.
Yeah.
Be the dad, be more on top of being a family man and that. And I get this call. It was like Michael Corleone, I just wanted to get out, and it just keeps dragging me back.
Yeah.
But they're like, okay, well, the keyboard player that played on the record, he's not going to be able to do the live stuff, Can you do it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I went and rehearsed with all of them, and after that, we did the show, which was an amazing show and an incredible band, Big Chief.
Yeah.
And then after that, I get a call from Mike Nira again, and Mike and Andy owned White Room Studios. They were in the band Second Self years ago, and they said, "Hey, we need you to come and play keyboards. We discovered this guy down in the park, down off of Griswold, just singing on the street. This blind street singer, and his voice is just incredible. And would you come in and jam? Because we want to start recording him, maybe." Do a production deal, try and get him a deal,
Yeah.
So went in and jammed with that, and I was like, oh my God, I was blown away by this. And the songs he wrote were like, they were like Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Otis Redding sounding stuff,
Yeah.
So, and that's right in my wheelhouse. So I jumped into that. We ended up getting signed to RCA Records. And I toured with that for a while, but as we were doing the record, Bob, Kid Rock, was in the B room of White Room working on different things, and at the time he was working on Early Morning Stone Pimp.
Yeah.
And you listen to what I would be doing and everything, and you're like, hey, come on, after you're done, step in the studio. I want you to lay down some stuff,
Yeah.
And we shared a rehearsal place in Royal Oak, which is now Rust Belt Studio, and that building. And so I would show up early for my rehearsal, and Bob would be in there rehearsing with his guys. And I'd just fire up my rig and start jamming along with him. And he's like, when you're not on the road, you want to jump in on some shows, And I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If I'm around, I'll do it.
And the rest is history.
And it just kind of fell together very organically.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I didn't answer an ad or,
Yeah.
Try out.
no tryout, no audition,
Oh, wow. So then your first show with Bob was that the State Theater gig?
It was one of the State Theater gigs, probably long before the State Theater gig.
What was the one? I think you and Krause came on board at the same show, right?
No, I did some stuff before Krause.
Okay.
Kenny was in the band.
Yep. I went to his bachelor party at a strip bar. Many eons ago.
Yeah. Oh, Kenny's? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bazooki or something, probably.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I know Art Jr., Penn Howard Jr. was close to you guys, helped write some stuff, and Art was a buddy of mine, and yeah.
Yeah, let's. So, what was the question again?
I don't remember.
I told you I was confused.
No, I'm
About
almost
the State Theater gig.
the State Theater.
Thank you, T.
Yeah. So he's just like, "Hey, will you jump in on this gig?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he gave me a copy of Early Morning Stone Pimp because that was finished then, and Polyfuse Method and Grit Sandwiches. He was doing some stuff off of there, and just some other recordings and I'm listening to them like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I was like, but I can fit right in. And he just said, grab the grooves and just play.
Yeah.
Really kind of freestyle what you do. I like what you do. Just fit in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's easy and that'll be fun.
So then
And
what
that's
is
what I did. It was like almost like doing one of my blues gigs where they just say, okay, shuffle in E, or things like that.
Yeah.
So
That's really interesting. I'm trying to think. I lost my train of thought too. Why don't we play a song? Why don't we do that?
Sure.
What do you want to do? You want to do something from Snakebit?
yeah, I'll
Or-
do. Okay, well, I'll do this. This is how when I do my shows.
Yeah.
I open up with this. It's the second song on the record, Bring It On Over.
Okay.
But it's something that ever since I started playing this riff in the studio, Bob fell in love with it. And this been back when we were doing Cocky.
Oh,
That
okay. Great album.
That I actually wrote this. And started messing around with it, and we did a little demo of it, but he really didn't write anything for it. Well, like, as a lot of my songs, I've shipped them Bob's way, and if he's like, yeah, I dig it, but not, I dig it, not I dig it, let's cut it, put it on record. But he kept coming back to this one, which is Bring It On Over. Well, it did finally end up on the last record as She's Your Baby Now Rock Her. So he kept saying, it was like, we got to come back to this. So on Bad Reputation, this song is on Bad Reputation as She's Your Baby Now Rock Her, but that title came from Loretta Lynn, who helped him write the lyrics. So now I've got
Oh, wow.
I've been blessed with a co-write from the late, great,
nice.
with the late, great Loretta Lynn.
Awesome.
So it's just like, okay.
Yeah,
I'll go
you
with
can
this.
handle that.
But
So-
this is how I do it with my band, or I do it without the band. I've opened up for Gordon Lightfoot, opened up for
rest in
Pat
peace.
Benatar. Yeah, oh my gosh. And Neil Giraldo. Things like that where they just want something simple coming. So it's like this. That was the opening for Going Down, played by the late, great Max Middleton.
Beautiful.
Here's Bring It On Over. Bring it on over, baby, bring it on over me. Bring it on over, bring it on over for me. You can be mine deeper than a big dog eyes. We can shake it with the lights down low.
God, is that cool?
All right.
Such a soulful voice, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What was it? It's like a rich mahogany. It's just, there's something so soulful about it.
I've never been accused of being quiet. Krause has a name that he made up for me.
What's that?
Old Yeller.
Isn't Krause one of the best dudes ever?
Oh, that's my brother, man.
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh my
love
God,
that guy.
we've been through so much over the last 25 plus years, you
Yeah.
know, and you know,
His wife
great
Fran
stuff.
is
Fran
is the
Fran,
fucking
yep.
best. I've known
Yeah,
her
the
forever.
kids, the whole family. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Scott, his brother's on the road with us, teching, and
Really?
you know,
For the
handles
Kid Rock tour?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He handles the video area.
Yeah.
and a lot of there, and he's just Scott's a really smart guy, great
Yeah.
musician himself. You know.
Really? Yeah, it's such an eclectic group of people
Yeah.
in Twisted Brown Trucker.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
very
mean? Like,
family-oriented. People have
Yeah.
been with it for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Our lighting director, Brad Teagan's been there. Brad was actually probably there before Cracker.
really?
Yeah, Bob would be doing a hip-hop show where it'd just be him, and he'd send $200 with Teagan to, back then, Builders Square and American DJ, and put together a light show. And Brad would bring in, and he'd be blowing off pyro illegally and stuff like that, But, and then he spent a lot of time with Katy Perry out on the road. Left us for a bit and went out on the road, kind of a journeyman thing. And she had him on lockdown, retainer and everything. And he went to John Legend and toured the world and came back, and he's been back. He did that whole last tour with us and everything.
Yeah.
It was great. But it's family, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Such nice people, too. I've met Stephanie before, I believe, at that famous State Theater show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which
So
is-
you're talking about the one that
Either
we were
97 or
doing
99.
we were doing the video for Bull God.
Yes. Yeah. And they had the whole
Yeah.
place was, State Theater was papered with the recording is going on tonight.
Yeah.
And then Bob never releases the shit.
It is actually out there. It just didn't. It wasn't a single that the label got behind.
Really?
So
It was such a great show. I remember that
the
show
video
vividly.
was, but not the whole show.
Right.
Not the whole show. There's been a few things
Yeah.
that have been videoed. Possibly for DVD, whatever. But
Yeah.
when it's like well, maybe we'll just watch them on Christmas.
Yeah. I'd love to see that show. I remember it. I remember being there and going backstage, and it was like, where's the after party going to be? I vividly remember this. And Stephanie was by herself, and I played drums just a tiny bit, but so I started talking to her about drums and stuff. She couldn't have been any sweeter.
She's very sweet.
And then it was like, the after party's over here, but it was like the real after party was over here, and these Detroit shows.
Yeah, you got the you got to run. You got to run the gamut. You got to run the gauntlet to get into the into the real thing.
Well, it's nice knowing so many guys on the inside there. It's like when you guys are in Phoenix, my brother, I'd send him tickets. Art Jr. back in the day, was great. But it's really hard in Detroit because you guys know everybody here. Everybody wants to be your best friend when you're coming through town.
And a lot of times they know you, but they don't know you till there's a show coming up.
Right.
And it's just like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a really long time. How you been? How's everything? Hey, I see you guys are playing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it only the hottest ticket in town? And just six?
Yeah.
You need just six?
Is Emma still in kindergarten? No, she graduated high school.
That's hilarious. I was watching some videos on you, man. I love the Bones 88 shirt.
Oh,
Do people get that reference? Do people know what that is?
What it is, 88 keys on a piano.
Exactly.
But I kind of stole it from the old Oldsmobile Rocket 88 logo.
Okay.
And like Bones 88. And Rocket 88 is, that's been known to be, called the first rock and roll song ever,
Yeah.
In fact, Ike Turner did a version of it too, but Rocket 88. I guess it could be considered the first ever rock and roll song.
Yeah.
Great tune.
Speaking of Ike Turner, we just lost Tina Turner.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah, I bet you were a fan of hers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard the second verse where I screwed up the lyrics and sang the second
Yeah,
verse.
yeah, yeah.
I kind of mumbled,
fine.
did the scattered it, but you can be my Tina and I'll be your Ike, and we can shake it with the lights down low.
Yeah, that's great. So going back to the early days.
Yeah, Tina Turner.
Yeah.
You know, I love the old stuff that she did with Ike. You know,
Yeah.
way back.
I
in
mean,
the
still
day,
watching
you
the
know.
video like to Proud Mary or something.
Oh, my God.
And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Yeah, and I was very young when I first saw that. You know, I don't know where I saw it, maybe on the Mike Douglas show.
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
in the
something like that in the
after.
60s.
I loved. I'd come home from school, my mom would be watching the Mike Douglas show, and Sly Stone would be on, and he just just out of his gourd, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is this? And then he would just sit out on a B3, and oh my God, just blew my mind. You know?
Yeah. Did you ever imagine the success? Like when you go into the studio, and I don't know how much you remember. It's hard to remember back 25 years of what any of us were doing. But do you ever did you ever expect the thing to blow up like it did? Or because I imagine you're just a musician
No, I
locally,
didn't.
playing in clubs and slugging it out like lots of kids did.
By the time that this had happened, I had been through so many, things that was like, okay, man, we're on the verge of the cusp,
Yeah.
let's say, including Robert Bradley. And then it's just, you're starving and you're out there on the road, and then you get home and then you're waiting for 3 weeks for a paycheck to come in or whatever or something.
How
like
does that work with a band like Twisted Friends?
Sometimes not very well, but
is it like a weekly thing? Like you're like, I punched the time clock and I get my check.
right. Yeah, right. It was, the way that thing was, it was on a shoestring, and we were in a 15-passenger van pulling a trailer, and everybody taking turns driving, and wow, pretty, skeleton crew, and that's how this thing started too. When we did Devil Without a Cause, we were rehearsing, and I showed up for rehearsal one day, and I asked Bob one day. It was after we did the first show, not the show that you're talking about,
Yeah.
but a few shows prior that very first one I did at the State. And, okay, I'd heard the music, and I had, kind of figured out what I wanted to do, come in. But I had never seen him live. And I was seeing his show while playing his show for the first time. And I'm like, holy fuck, this is like Kiss or something, man.
Yeah.
Explosions and all of this. I'm like, I had absolutely no idea. And I'm like, there's a lot of visual to this too and everything, he's a showman.
Oh yeah,
You
dude.
know.
You might remember I talked to Vinny Dombrowski. We did about this, and Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
The legendary parties.
I know, Schmo.
Yeah. Okay. He was going to jail at one point.
Yes.
And so he was having a big blow up party. I so remember being at that backyard party at Schmo's, and a couple guys from the Black Crowes were there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
Eddie Harsh was probably there.
probably lots of people.
Rest his soul.
And all of a sudden, this dude shows up. I swear to God, in a full length mink.
And it
a
was
hat-
Bob?
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
with a couple girls. I want to say this is long before Devil Without a Cause came out.
Probably, yeah.
And young girls in bikinis on each arm. And it was
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is that guy?
And
like, he was already a rock star.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was definitely, this is how I got to do it, and I'm going to make an impact. And that's to his credit, that's what he does, man.
Yeah.
And he likes to wind people up. He likes to swat the hornet's nest. He likes
Yeah.
to piss people off.
What do you do when
God
you
bless him,
when
man.
when you wake up and it's like, oh shit, the boss is trending again on Twitter?
Yeah. I don't pay too much attention. It's just,
No.
hey, it's good. It's like,
Hey, they're talking about
that's
us.
a good thing. Yeah, they're talking about us.
Yeah.
That's like, the stock market going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Does everybody in the band? I mean, you guys all have such different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Is it ever difficult when Bob's a controversial guy at times? A lot of the times.
Right.
Which is fine. We love him for it. But I don't know if that's harder for you guys. If it's like, oh, Stephanie doesn't feel that way, or Marlon doesn't feel that way, or Kraus doesn't. You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
Or is it just like, this is our job? I don't give a
That's
shit.
the way it is.
what-
I think that's the way, but that's the way it is in any family.
Right.
That's the way it is in any workplace.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you got to get beyond all of that.
Yeah.
You got to go, you got to team up for the common goal and everything and get beyond that,
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, and I really don't want to ever talk about politics because I can sit there and argue with somebody about something, but what's the point? I'm not going
Yeah.
to change their mind.
Yeah.
They're not going to change my mind. And if you're talking politics with somebody you disagree with, your blood pressure's going up.
Yeah.
And if you're talking
Yeah.
politics with somebody you agree with, your blood pressure's going up. So it's not good for you.
It's not worth it.
And really deep down, I don't care what side you're from and how far right or how far left you are. I don't trust any of them. fuckers,
no, me either,
I don't
man.
trust them.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you don't-
their job is to get rich and divide everybody.
Yeah,
As
and they're
far
doing
as
a
I'm
great
concerned.
job of it. As far as our lifetime
Yeah,
goes, this
they're
is
very
incredible.
successful at it.
Yeah, it's
So that's the end of that.
yeah. No. I totally get it. I was curious because you guys have a big traveling band with a lot of big personalities and
Yeah.
and individual people that have, it's not like there's 4 guys in a band. You guys have a large touring. It's a circus.
Yeah, I mean, 10 people on stage.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's not like a 4-piece band. It's not like Green Day or something.
Right.
You know?
Right. The stretch that I was just looking at the discography and the Devil Without a Cause, Cocky, Kid Rock, Live Trucker, Rock and Roll Jesus it's almost a murderer's row of
Great
I mean,
records.
awesome
Very
records.
strong.
Everyone.
Yeah. Do you remember stuff from recording those earlier records and
Yeah, I mean, Devil was real exciting. I was still working a day job, and then I'd get there later in the afternoon after I got up, and then I'd be in the recording studio till 4:00 in the morning, and then have to get up for work and be where I needed to be at whatever 6, 7 o'clock, and
Yeah.
do it again tomorrow, and
Yeah.
and that, I mean, it wasn't grueling, and it was a creative process, and there was a lot of times where we just fucked off,
Yeah. Well, it hadn't blown up yet.
No, it hadn't, and I wasn't sure what it was. I was like, okay, I'm putting everything I can into this, and to put the best thing out. But I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's
Can't
no
control that.
guarantees.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
guarantees.
So what do you contribute in the writing process is it like Ball with the Ball? I believe Krause wrote that lick.
That's definitely Jason.
Yeah, and he's got a big fucking speed metal background and whatnot.
Yeah, Slayer, just
Yeah, Pantera.
Pantera, Slayer. Those are the people that he really
Yeah.
really followed, and he played in a lot of those bands. Jesus Chrysler and Aftermath, and
Yeah.
his brother Scott was a drummer in that band.
Really? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
That's great.
Jason, he had.
So then how does that work? Does he come in the studio and be like, "Hey, I got this riff. I don't know if I have something. I think it's kind of cool," and like throw it around the room?
From what I recall on Devil, a lot of that was jamming.
Yeah.
We all plug in. Krause would start playing on something, and we'd all grab it.
and you just follow the groove.
Yeah, and a lot of times Bob would roll tape, or Bob would say, "Look, that's cool, let's try this, and then let's go here," or at least get this section down and lock it in and everything. And we did a lot of that. A lot of that record was done that. Trucker Anthem, which is on a later record, was actually done during those sessions.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's Ball with the Boss starts out with "My name is," right? That's
Yeah, and that was I think that was put in later.
Really? That
Yeah,
wasn't
it was-
originally part of that?
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
So what? Then he just goes and tracks that
just
after the
like,
fact?
Okay, how am I going to make this huger than it is?
It's
and
huge.
there it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's fantastic. So when did you first start writing songs? Like, I mean, back in the early days.
Early days. I think my first band when I was in high school. And,
Really?
And yeah, we just, we were playing. It was a band called Crossroads, and it was some guys I was in high school at Roseville High School. And there was a few bands, and we would play like the school dances and all the usual church dances and every Friday night at the VFW on Gratiot there was a teen dance, and we would play, and then Stone Free would play, and then Still Eyes would play, and Holy Smoke, and all these a lot of East Side bands and that. And we were writing that, but we're playing what we knew. We were playing covers-wise. We were playing a lot of ZZ Top. Going Down was actually the first thing that got me into my first band, but I came in and sang it. There was no piano around. They're like, what happened was I was in class one day, and I was playing harmonica, and guy was like, hey, he's like, can you sing? And I'm like,
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I guess that's up to, the jury, but yeah, I like to sing, and I can.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm picking you up tonight. You're coming in. We need a singer,
Yeah.
We need somebody that can play harmonica. So he tells the guys, and they pick me up, and they got beer in the car and weed and everything, So, and they're like, okay. They started into Going Down. I knew Going Down, so I started singing it, and I blew harp in it and everything.
Yeah,
blew harmonica, and they're all looking around, and I'm like, I must suck, and they're like,
you're in.
After the first song, he's like, you're in the band.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
We did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. We did Never in My Life.
Yeah.
by Mountain. Things like that.
Did you think you had a decent voice at that point, or was it like, I guess I could sing? Because talking to Vinny Dombrowski, he had the same. He was playing drums, and then it was like, well, we need.
And he's an
someone to sing.
incredible drummer. He's on some of our stuff.
Yeah. He's a great singer. I mean, unbelievable voice.
Vinny is another guy that has it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can be a good musician, you can be a good singer, you can, be whatever. You be an actor or whatever.
He's a rock star.
But
front man.
there are certain people that have it. Bob has it. Vinny has it.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's just something that where it's almost like you have these talents, and you have whatever you put energy-wise forth to sell it.
Yeah.
And people are buying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's Vinny.
Very
talented.
Troy, I think you would agree, because we've gone out and had drinks with Vinny a bunch of times, and he's been in here and played a handful of times, and he does. There is an aura around him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just around
and he doesn't
him.
age. He's like a vampire.
Dude, it's the craziest thing ever. His voice hasn't changed at all.
No.
He's not gotten fat like the rest of us. He looks great. He comes over here in a wife beater and a baseball hat,
and he
just tears
got
it
that
up.
thing, man.
Yeah.
Vinny is a rock star.
Yeah.
He's an artist, and he's a rock star.
Yeah.
But he's very talented. He's an incredible
so
drummer,
humble.
incredible songwriter, and
Did
just
he
a
play
really
drums?
chill guy,
Did he play drums for you guys on some records? I thought I had read that
Later
at some point.
on, he might have been on some things that I wasn't in the sessions for, but I came in and we did a session one day, and Vinny was playing drums, Oddly Freed on guitar, and then Keith Gaddis, who just lost his life recently, the producer and incredible musician. He was playing guitar on the session, and I think Julison was playing bass.
Yeah.
But one of the songs that we did that did get released was Cocaine and Gin.
Okay.
Which was written by Mark Myers, Cracker's old piano player.
Okay.
He wrote the song, but that's one of the ones that we played, and it's just like this bluesy, like Ray Charles kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Cocaine and Gin. So
Yeah.
Vinny's on that,
Yeah.
and he's just killing it. And then after we get done with these tracks, he's like, "I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Vinny, dude, it was incredible." What do you
He told
apologize
me
for?
that drums came super easy to him.
Yeah.
That he, like, the first time he played, he could like play him. It just made sense to him.
He just had rhythm, man.
Yeah.
He just had rhythm.
Yeah. Such a fascinating cat.
And he's an
too.
incredible singer. His voice,
Yeah, no
voice is
doubt.
insane, man.
I wanted to talk about some of your career. Like, when I put it on paper, it's incredible. When you talk about Woodstock '99,
there's been some moments.
dude. Do we have the video? Did I give you the video there, Trav?
Yep, give me just a second.
And see what you remember about
About Woodstock?
Woodstock. Which, have you seen the documentary, by the way?
I have seen bits and pieces. of
The
it,
new
yeah.
newest one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people talk about it.
Woodstock '99, like rock and
Well,
rage or something.
it really centers around the negative outcomes of that.
Right. The Limp Bizkit stuff and the.
I mean, if you want to roll that, and I'll give you some insights.
Just I lost it. I'm sorry. I was doing two things
It's at the end of. I pulled up the video and
know.
queued it up. If you look at Woodstock,
99.
Kid Rock '99 Woodstock.
Yep.
There's a full show and take it to the very, very end.
Okay. It must be this 4.2 minute here. Mute me so I don't.
Yeah, you're down.
Thanks.
I'm talking about the bottle incident.
Oh, that was,
Dude, here's the thing. Well, I was working at the Drew and Mike show during that time, and that was pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And so Mark Fellhauer and I shared a house in Royal Oak, and Drew had just broken up with a girl, and so he was like hanging with us, and we just spent the entire weekend ordering pizza and watching this stuff. Keep going. It's really towards the very, very. Oh, that's Limp Bizkit. No, I was talking about Kid Rock.
I thought this was. Oh yeah.
Come on, man.
I know.
You need me to step back in
I got
over there,
10
Travis?
things. You don't need to hear my sad story.
Yeah, we did Fortunate.
No, there should be a full show. It should say,
full concert
Top.
right up
There
top.
you go.
Right
Top
up
one.
yeah,
And then the end of that.
Yep.
and then the end of that.
Joe C. came out.
Yeah.
He had the flag around him.
So it's right after Bob does that. Da, da, da. Do you remember this moment, Jimmy?
Yes, very. Yeah. Oh my God, this is.
Pulling back.
Legendary.
Yeah, start it there,
incredible
dude.
Moment.
All right.
Or
Yeah.
back it up just a hair, because Kid comes out and says like, when we start this next song.
1 second. Let me get it live for our viewers.
Oh yeah. I mean, what is it like looking at it, that
When you-
sea of humanity?
Yeah, and the biggest crowd we've. So this is. This is called the Conductor Jam. It's something we used to do. There I am, with
Look how young you guys
completely white hair, goatee. Joey.
are. Josie, I'm not a fucking midget T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking midget. Right?
He was a neat dude, wasn't he?
Oh my God, hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did any of those bottles make it back to where you are on that stage?
They were, they were all over the stage, and I forgot who it was that was going on afterwards, and they were pissed. They were
yeah.
so pissed.
The
man.
stage is just littered.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it. So what the part we missed is Kid Rock announces the crowd.
Yeah.
When we kick into this last thing, I want you to pick up and
Throw
peacefully.
some- Yeah,
peacefully.
he says, "Don't hurt anybody.
hurt anybody."
Don't throw anything that's going to hurt anybody, but empty
Yeah.
bottles, whatever."
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing. And it was like a horizontal hailstorm of plastic bottles and shoes.
It's amazing the amount of shit
and-
flying
and
around
just
there.
everything in every direction.
Go ahead and
it
play
was
that,
like
Jeff.
Right
you
here?
know,
Yeah.
it was like from the Birds or something.
Yeah. So what did you call this now? The conductor?
I think
Jam?
this was the Conductor's Jam. Yes. So he would stop, and then
There you
he'd
are.
point to a band member, and
Yeah.
they'd have to go,
Sure.
"Ba-dum,"
Ba-na.
and then it was fun because he'd do he's like the conductor, and then he'd point, but he'd like fake you out, and you'd hit it,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
so it was.
I think he got you. I think he got you with it.
Yeah.
The keyboard going up.
There's Kenny Olson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He'd point to me, and I have to hit that
note.
screaming B3.
Yeah.
note, Krause headbanging.
Hell yeah.
Orange hair.
Right?
Orange hair, Florida Gators
Right.
jersey.
Yep, here it is. I was the bass player back then, too. We had no bass player, so my left hand was
Oh, you
covering
played-
all the
Oh,
bass
really?
on,
Yeah,
that,
nice.
on that Roland.
There you are. Yeah, you got quite a setup there, dude.
Yeah, no doubt.
There he is. I'm not a fucking midget. Joey. That was
Didn't
cracker.
Ted Nugent give you guys some shit early on for having Josie in the band?
I think he thought it was a kid.
Yeah.
He did. He didn't understand
Yeah.
what that
Yeah,
was
Ted
about.
Nugent
It was
popped
just like-
off at one point and was like, "This is child abuse. You got this 6-year-old on stage." He's
Right,
like,
he didn't
"Fuck
know.
you. I'm 23, man."
Well, it's funny because the first time, and we were at a rehearsal at the studio, at the rehearsal studio, and these two girls come in, and I'm like, oh, they got their little brother with them, and he's all G'd out and everything, And I didn't know that Bob had met him at a show or anything like that.
Yeah, sounds like a club show or something that
so
he would show up at.
Yeah, it was at the Ritz.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, Joey's got a 40 of Mickey's or something,
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, they let him drink.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And then he whips out a joint and lights it up. I'm like, I said to Krause, how old? He goes, no, he's 23 years old, man. Whatever at that time.
I remember, and I've told the story 100 times, but Josie, when they were first doing the photo shoot for that album, there were a couple images that got released, and people called like Child Protective Services.
Is this the one where we did like the Last Supper vibe? We did that downtown.
I thought it had a couple scantily clad women and Josie.
Oh, okay, all right.
And it hit the press because
So this
nobody
would
knew
have
who
been,
Josie was
label
yet.
photographs. Atlantic
Something like that were released, and it was like, oh my God, look at this kid. This is child abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's, and that's Bob right there. Don't tell anybody. Let everybody get really in an uproar.
Would he say stuff like that?
No, he wouldn't say it, but it would. That's what would happen.
It was
he had to
fine.
figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's like, oh, there's a hornet's nest. Let's swat it.
Yeah. Yeah. He can't help it. He just can't help it.
No, God.
Do you
bless him.
remember that Woodstock show very much, though? Do you remember like getting in and out of there in New York? And
yeah, it was kind of crazy because it was the last show of a run that we had.
Dude, I have the itinerary of that run.
Oh, do you?
I have the booklet with all the hotel dates because you
Okay.
guys were with Stained.
Yeah.
Kid Rock and not Limp Bizkit. Aaron Lewis.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, who's with
Stained?
He's with Stained.
No, there was a
just
third band. Who was it? It was Kid Rock, Stained.
Wasn't
and,
Power Man 5000, was it?
No. Shit. But I bought it in some auction thing, and it's got like, it's crazy to look at because it gives you guys a daily.
Not Monster Magnet. Wasn't
No.
Monster Magnet.
Shit.
Right?
Who was on that?
We were headlining though, right? Were we headlining or were
Sort of. So there were certain dates where it was like, hey, we're in Kid Rock's hometown. Here's some things to do. Go to the Detroit Zoo. We'd like give you guys things to do on your day off.
Right.
But it was like, you know what? We're gonna have Kid Rock headline and Twisted Brown Trucker headline this Detroit show because this is Kid's hometown.
What
and
was
then Stained. It wasn't Limp Bizkit, but it was. God damn it! I'll try and dig through my stuff and
It was a long
find it and
time
show you.
ago.
It's a long time, but it's crazy. It's like gives you all the hotel
Woodstock
managers.
it was the last. It was the last show of that
Yes.
run, that tour, and we got in, and so I wake up there in the morning, and we're there at the site backstage. Now it's in Rome, New York, upstate New York. Everything that was going on outside, and we had no clue what was going on outside in the front. We just thought, okay, here's a show. We had done a lot of festivals, and everything's really cool and everything. But we're backstage. We've got our dressing room areas. We've got our buses. We've got catering. We're back there. We're not going out and seeing what's going on. I know there was a lot of fucked up shit with gouging on water and this and that.
Oh,
facilities.
yeah.
We had absolutely no clue. I didn't find out about any of this until much, much later, months, maybe even a year after.
You guys were probably long
people
gone by
started-
the time
we were.
shit hit the fan.
We were.
Yeah.
The,
Is that-
the only
just hit
thing
the
I
bus and get out,
remember
I bet.
is waking up that morning we got there the night before. We checked into the hotel, and I went down for breakfast, and there's Ice Cube having breakfast next to me, and Jules on the phone outside, talking to home or whoever, And there's a lot of people all over the place. The biggest surprise that for me that day was we were backstage, and in the dressing room, all of a sudden walks in Skeeto, the drummer. Yeah. Skeeto Valdez, great drummer, but he was playing with King Konga on the B stage there that day.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, what are you doing here? He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm gigging, man.
Yeah.
With King Kong.
You guys were on the, I can't remember what stage you were on, but that was.
We're on the
abs-
main stage, yeah.
It was massive. Had you ever seen an audience that big?
Not that big. We'd seen big audiences in Europe, you know, Rock'em Ring, Rock'em Park, those kind of things, you know. But nothing to that level.
Yeah.
That
Does that
just
feel different
huge.
when you walk onto a stage that big? Like, I know. Yeah. Does it feel
You
different?
got to wonder, I mean, because I don't think, like when you do those festivals, they can't see you, but they do have video screens later, and there's another sound system even farther back, you know. So, you know, when you go to those really huge festivals in Europe, you're quite far away if you're in the back. You know?
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just a sea of humanity. I can only imagine.
Oh my God.
I get the energy of that many people, especially like in that scene. You know, just the
yeah,
power
exactly.
of all that. It's got to be
and it
just
was
overwhelming.
It's just like, wow, this is. I think I said to Brian McCollum, well, he's like, what's this like? And I says, well, it's another show, but it's not another show. You know, and
Not
he
even
quoted
close.
me on that
Yeah.
in the article. You know?
How many times platinum had Devil gone by the time you hit Woodstock? I want to say it was only a couple million sold, but
Yeah,
it was
it
one of the
hadn't-
that you could tell that
That
crowd
was
so
one of
into
the.
it.
That was one of the things that really escalated everything. And
Really?
made it explode. I think things got up to, 5 million or something like that after.
What does that do to the
thereafter.
band when you start going, holy shit, we're multi-platinum now,
It
approaching
happens,
diamond?
It happens so quickly that you almost don't realize it.
Yeah.
And to this day, it amazes me.
Yeah, it's got to.
Like
Because you're just doing your thing.
I'm just doing my thing.
Right. And what
you know?
happens, happens. You know.
Yeah, and what happens, and we've done all that, and then I go home and I'm okay. I got to get on the tractor and start cutting grass, and Dad, I want some chocolate milk, and shit like that.
Yeah. How does that change the band's success? Was it harder for some guys? Easy?
No, we just rolled along with it because at that point in time, it felt like the first 5 years we were on the road almost solid. We would come home for a month here and everything, but it's just rolling. We're working,
Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah, the grind.
It is. It's a
Pay your
grind,
dues, for
but
sure.
and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
How many guys were smart with money and?
None of us.
None of you. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. I remember talking to Fran, and she was
We're
like,
musicians. We're not investment guys.
I was talking to Francesca one day, and she was like, I don't think Kid wanted any of these guys to get married. He's like we stepped in as women, and we're like, no, you're not doing that tonight. I'll take that check.
Right.
She said these guys had no fucking clue what
my
to
God.
do.
Yeah,
with
right,
money,
right,
with
right.
anything, and it's like at least you had each other to lean on.
And it was
kinda going
almost
through it.
like you were on the road. You were on the road too much to even spend it at home and do anything dumb with it. You
Yeah.
know? But I've heard some crazy stories where people, who was it? Just irresponsible with money. It was like, well, I'll stop off and buy Derek Sanderson from the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
And he gets signed and he's on the road. He just stops in a Mercedes dealership and buys a Mercedes right off the lot. And they're like, and he even admitted, he goes, now it
Probably not the
was
smartest
not a
idea.
really intelligent thing for me to do and go in and pay cash,
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
but what are you going to do? You're young.
Yeah. It's young and dumb. If you're gonna be,
Right. You gotta love
wilding
it.
out, dude. I mean, going and traveling the globe, it's got to be incredible.
You got to have some stories to
Yeah,
tell people,
yeah. I feel like the kids today are never gonna have.
Then
those
you look
stories.
back and then you can enjoy it again later.
Yeah. What do you look back on now? I mean, you guys are still together, still doing it now, but I think you opened for the Stones at one point.
We did, yeah. We did that at, let's see, what was that? That was Ohio Stadium.
Okay.
In Columbus.
Oh, where the Buckeyes play, the Horseshoe.
This was where, this was the Ohio State Buckeyes play, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was very huge. That was huge. And I've always,
I mean, as a kid growing up, you had to worship the Stones.
I did.
Like, I'm
I
on
did.
stage opening for the Rolling Stones. Are you kidding me?
oh my God, it's
gotta be incredible.
I have I have it framed in my living room right above my piano. You know, the Rolling Stones with special guest Kid Rock. That's You know, that's one of my prizes.
Yeah,
right there,
very
you
cool.
know.
Yeah. How was the crowd for Kid Rock Twisted
For
Brown
us,
Trucker?
was very receptive.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
it's not apples to apples with
Yeah.
music. The Stones.
Right. And we did 40. And there's the line, you know, at the end. The punchline is, you know, something he's singing about this and that's, and then he says, and the Stones are almost dead, you know. And everybody in the crowd's like, you know. They were very receptive to
Yeah.
it. It was cool because I'm sitting there playing and we open with Ba with the Ba. And, you know, I'm rocking and all of a sudden I look over my shoulder and there's the monitor desk on this side and he's wearing a baseball hat and it's Mick and he's watching.
Wow.
us, you know.
Does that put a little added pressure on when you notice Mick Jagger
Not
side
really
stage?
pressure, but it's just like, oh, this feels good, and I'm gonna make sure that
Save this
you
moment.
know,
Yeah.
do what I can to not fuck it up. Basically,
Yeah.
I didn't get nervous, but I feed off of that.
Yeah.
you know, somebody's watching. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I feed off of that. I mean.
Were they nice guys?
It was
did you get to hang with them at all or see them backstage?
I didn't. I was sitting in catering, and they were kind of moving around. The incredible thing about the Rolling Stones is that they're still just big fans of music, and Keith Richards especially.
Yeah.
He's still just a guy that's trying to be in a blues band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's still a big fan of music, and his heart is like just pure in the right place. You know, he's a fan. He's still a student. He even admitted it in his book, Life. He's like, I'm still just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. All the good
You
ones
know,
say
how
that.
I can
Never stop.
how I can be more like Muddy Waters or
Yeah.
you know, my heroes. How I can be more like Chuck Berry, playing wise. You
Right,
know?
right.
You know, it's like he's still a blues nerd.
Yeah. And it comes out. You can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
he's playing.
man.
I mean, yeah. It's amazing how long.
So
you've
I
been
mean,
doing
I'm
it.
sitting there in catering, and the Rolling Stones, greatest rock and roll band in the world.
Yeah.
I will say that. They still do a sound check every day.
Really?
The band does a sound check
Wow.
every day because they just want to go play.
Yeah.
You know, I've been out with, you know, other bands and their crew is doing a sound check. And then these guys roll up when it's like 20 minutes to time to hit the stage and they do it and then bam, they're out.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones are still, you know, they're still being the Rolling Stones all day long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go do a sound check because we're a rock and roll band and we're, you know, let's go play some blues.
Yeah.
You know?
It's beautiful. Some other highlights in your career, Jimmy. Again, we're talking to Jimmy Bones. Jimmy Bones Music on YouTube, jimmybones.com. And we'll get into your charity stuff in just a minute here.
Oh,
Or actually, we could do it now.
sure.
Unless you want to play a song first.
Yeah, I'll play something.
What do you want to play?
Well, I'm going in to record tomorrow.
Yep.
Me, Garrett, it's for a release that I'm hopefully going to get out this year. But I released 2 songs at the beginning of 2020 as singles. One was Bittersweet. It's a ballad, kind of has a Let It Be feel to it, but it was kind of more, I wrote it as an apology to my grandfather because I wasn't there when he passed.
Okay.
I was on the road. This other one is about the struggles of just being a father or having responsibilities or just, you know, the challenge and the struggle that everybody wants just for love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's called I Go Through Hell for Heaven's Sake. I am an honest man, just making my way. Never gonna outrun the moon, but I'm gaining on Judgment Day. I give in my heart, never worry shake. I am a working man, I got one life to live. Rough hands and a simple plan, I got one soul to give. Giving more than I take, and I go through hell for heaven's sake. See the light in my children's eyes, love them with all my might. Show them trust and honesty, so they learn to treat folks right. I give in my heart, never wear it in my brain. I'm still trying to learn from my mistakes. I am a working man, I got one life to live. Rough hands and a simple plan, I got one soul to give. I might bend but I won't break, and I go through hell for heaven's sake. When everything is wrong and darkness falls, I give it all, try to make it right. My shining light is lying right here in my arms all night. I give in my heart, never worried in my brain, and I give my handful of fair shake. I am a working man, I got one life to live. Rough hands and a simple plan, I got one soul to give. Giving more than I take, and I go through hell for heaven's sake. And I go through hell for heaven's sake. Yeah, and I go through hell for heaven's sake.
Wow.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Beautiful, man.
Love that.
Thank you.
God, I just love your voice.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's
man.
incredible.
It's a stripped down version.
Yeah.
As a working man with rough hands, it speaks to me.
That's what I did. I did it that way when I was blessed with the opportunity to open for Gordon Lightfoot on his last two ever Detroit appearances, and
Really?
I mean, you're talking about things that have happened, and it's like, wow, I can't believe I lived that. And he
Yeah.
was cool, man. He come walking up, and his wife's like, Gordon wants to meet you. I'm like, really? You know, and she's like, she says, yeah, he watched your he watched 3 of your songs last night. I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know. And so, did he like it? Yeah, he watched your whole show tonight. Wow. So, can he meet you? And I'm like,
Can he meet me?
I was like,
I
wow,
guess.
there's a, yeah, sure.
I
Man. So he
suppose.
comes up and you know, just so cool. He's got his, I mean, talk about a pimp, man. What a,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
this is like the only guy that Bob Dylan ever gave props to as a songwriter.
Really?
And rightly so, you know.
Musicians really adore him.
Everybody.
Yeah.
There's nobody that disliked Gordon Lightfoot. So he's got his burgundy velour jacket on and his boots and his, you know, and he's got his guitar and he's like, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing great. How are you? He's like, good. So you're with Kid Rock? And I said, yeah. He goes, how long you been with him? And I said, oh, like 25 plus years, you know. And he's like, That's the whole time.
You're a genius.
And he's pointing at his band. He goes, some of these guys been with me 53 years. And I'm like, I just said, rock and roll, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a good run.
I actually have it on video. Somebody was videoing.
Nice.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mentioned your charity stuff. Why don't we mention now Shake, Rattle, and Rock?
Shake, Rattle, and Rock.
Yeah.
So,
Why don't you explain what that is?
So what that is, I was very good friends with Dick Wagner from, anybody who's a guitar player that is worth their salt holds Dick Wagner in the highest regard. Dick Wagner was from Michigan. He played in an old band called the Bossmen, then later the Frost. He's the guy that pretty much taught Mark Farner how to write songs, long before Grand Funk Railroad. Then later on, he was a really, really sought-after session musician, after the Frost and everything. So they're doing Rock and Roll Animal that Bob Ezrin produced, the Lou Reed record.
Yeah.
And it was Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter that play that. That's them playing that big intro to Sweet Jane with all the two-part harmonies and all that work and everything. So Jack Douglas, who's produced so many Aerosmith records, discovered Cheap Trick, produced Double Fantasy for John Lennon and Yoko.
Wow.
And most recently, he produced this record that we did with the Detroit Youth Choir, backing them up, Rock Spell.
Okay.
For the same charity. So Dick Wagner ended up, Jack Douglas pokes his head in to Ezrin, and he's mixing the record, and he's like, what's going on? He's like, these guys busy? Can I borrow them? The guitar players. He knew who they were, and he's like, yeah, I'm just done mixing this Lou Reed record. We're done. And he's like, oh, cool. He's like, why? What's going on? He goes, well, I'm working on this record, but man, they are just not getting it done at all. And the label said if I don't finish this thing in 2 weeks, they're just going to drop them. So he borrowed them, and they went in and tracked, let's see what they do, Same Old Song and Dance, and Train Kept a Roll, and it was Aerosmith, Get Your Wings. And that's Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter playing largely of the guitars on that,
Wow.
So Dick Wagner passed away. He actually, he wrote this. This is one of his, he worked a lot with Alice Cooper, and he wrote this.
Yeah.
If there's a tear on my face, it makes me shiver to the bone, it shakes me, babe. It's just a heartache that got caught in my eye, and I never cry. I never cry. You did that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Take away my eyes. Sometimes I'd rather be blind. Break a heart of stone. Open it up. And don't you leave it alone. He wrote that.
Wow.
And Only Women Bleed. You and Me, Babe. He wrote Welcome to My Nightmare. So we were friends. He passed away a few years ago. And out of his passing, he always did a lot of stuff for children's hospitals. So there's now the Dick Wagner Remember the Child Fund.
Okay.
And what that does, we did some shows. Actually, Brad Whitford and Derek St. Holmes came and played on the show. So I played Train Kept a Rollin' with Brad
Whitford.
Yeah,
Wow.
Brad Whitford was very close with him, too.
Okay.
He recognized him
Yeah.
a lot. And what that charity, I think that first show raised like, I don't know, $15,000. And the money goes to children's hospitals in Detroit. It goes to C.S. Mott Hospital. And what that provides is musical instruments and music therapy for hospitalized children.
Yeah.
So Shake, Rattle, and Rock is all part of the Dick Wagner Remember the Child Fund.
We got a picture of it up here.
Yes. There's Kenny Olson right there, and that's
Oh, wow.
Sandy Gennaro that played drums with Cyndi Lauper and just so many
No
people.
kidding.
Yeah, he's a great drummer. Incredible.
And so are these all kids that were in the hospital?
Yes, these were all kids. It's Mickey Free right there. Shalimar, you know.
Yep.
And let's see who's all there. Yeah. But yeah, so it provides them instruments.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Yeah.
helps them
That's great.
get through the day.
I don't know if I could play guitar with rubber gloves on. She's trying. This is obviously Kova era.
Yeah. So what? There's Dick Wagner right there doing
Okay.
a show for the kids. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Brad Whitford. That's at the Fillmore.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Just a ridiculous show, man.
Pyro. God, that looks dangerous.
Yep. Yeah.
Is Pyro dangerous?
Yeah. The one guy with the cowboy hat, that was John Bouvier, the bass player from the Plasmatics.
Yeah.
You know,
Derek St. James, he was with
Derek St.
Nugent, right?
Yeah. Derek St. Holmes did.
Derek St. Holmes, I'm sorry.
He was in when Ted really exploded in that early to mid 70s into the late 70s. I mean, there was one point in time when they did California Jam. Ted was a headliner. He was the biggest thing in the world as far as a rock and roll draw.
Right.
So that's Derek. He wrote "Hey Baby." That's his voice. You know, "Queen of the Forest." You know, this is just what the doctor ordered. "Stranglehold." That's all Derek St. Holmes.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he was on that show, and then he had the band with Brad Whitford, St. Holmes, and they did a few records. I think they were working on another one. But anyway, so Shake, Rattle, and Rock is actually a video program, and they called all of us that were involved in this. So I'm involved. Sandy Gennaro's involved.
Mickey Free, Brian
Free.
Hardgroove,
Yep.
Allison Lovejoy.
Yep.
I got a cheat sheet.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Notes, maybe.
Well, I think when I reached out to you, Jimmy, to do this, you had posted a video. Mm-hmm. It was Leon Russell.
Oh yeah, I did a song for you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was so beautiful. I was like,
thank you,
this
man.
is so good. And I think it was for the charity.
It was, yeah.
That you're talking about.
We each did a half an hour segment.
And then it's broadcast into hospitals, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Susie Quattro also was on. Involved.
Okay.
Big name involved. But so what we each did a half an hour, little concert, and you could take any avenue you wanted. I kind of did a bunch of songs, did some of my own, but I kind of tried to take it from the avenue of songwriters and that sort of thing. I did Love by John Lennon, and I did Sweet Baby James by James Taylor, and gave a little background as to the
Little
songwriters
storytelling?
on everything. And that was one of them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Leon Russell's
Yeah,
song
I got
for you.
goosebumps, man. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow,
and
thank you,
I am the first thing I watched, and I was like, I'm reaching out to Jimmy and seeing if we can get him on.
thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was that good.
I appreciate the
You want to
kind
play any of
words.
it?
If you'd like.
Yeah, I'd love to.
let's see
I mean,
if
this is the reason you're
I
here
haven't
right
done
now,
it
buddy.
in a while. But
Really?
Let me see if I don't screw this up. Yeah, right.
Feel free to tell any story about it you want.
Yeah, it's been covered by the Carpenters, Ray Charles,
Yeah.
so many
Good
great
company.
people. I've been through many places in my life and time. I sung a lot of songs, I made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my love in stages with 10,000 people watching. But we're alone now and I'm singing this song for you. I know the image of me is what I hope to be. Treated you unkindly, baby, can't you see? There's no one more important to me. Baby, can't you please sit through me? 'Cause we're alone now and I'm singing this song for you. You taught me precious secrets of the truth, withholding nothing. You were up front and I was hiding. But now I'm so much better. And if my words don't come together, listen to my melody, 'cause my love is in there hiding. I love you in the place where there's no space and time. Love you in my life, you are a friend of mine. And when my life is over, remember that we were together. And we're alone and I was singing this song for you. I love you in the place where there's no space and time. Love you in my life, you are a friend of mine. And when my life is over, remember that we were together. We were alone and I was singing this song for you. We were alone and I was singing this song for you. We were alone and I was singing this song. Singing this song for you.
Awesome. Love it.
Beautiful, man.
Sorry for the clam.
That's what makes it real, dude. I love it.
I was Clam Halen there for a second. Eric Clammy Davis Jr.
I love it. But I wanted to ask you about how the tour's going. But I also wanted to know, what is a Twisted Brown Trucker?
Something Bob made up. I don't really fucking know. I just tried to live it to the best that I can imagine, you know.
Yeah. How long do you foresee doing it? Like, you think kid will want to do it much longer, or?
Well, I've got 5 kids. 2 of them are still coming up to enter college. I hope he does it for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Do it till the wheels fall off,
I don't
man.
see any retirement in my life anytime soon.
Let's go out on this.
No, I live for it. I would be playing music. If he decided, yeah, we're not going to do it anymore, I'd be like, what the fuck am I going to do next? No, I got to play. I got to do something. I got to go get a gig.
You guys are all the same like that. In fact, I think it'd be wrong if I didn't mention you guys played the Super Bowl. And one of the most memorable Super Bowls ever. The infamous wardrobe malfunction. The Titty Bowl. The Titty Bowl, as he calls it. Yes. Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, they came on just after Kid Rock, Twisted Brown Trucker.
Well, it was it was a big production, and Nelly, and, again, I had no idea we didn't see any of that because it's so, rush, and you got to get out there, do your thing, and then they get you off. The focus is on to the next thing. So a lot of these things, the scope of them is so huge that you only see what you're doing, your little area. You don't see all the other shit that's going on.
What is that like to get a call from the NFL or whoever and say, hey, we want Kid Rock and your band to play the
And
Super
we've done
Bowl.
it a few, not the Super Bowl, but we've done a few things for the NFL. We did one. It was in fact, we did it at Lambeau, and it was the opening of the next season. And that's pretty incredible, just to drive up around Lambeau Field and see this stadium with this team that's owned by the community.
Yeah.
In the middle of like a
Neighborhood, yeah.
You know, it's not downtown like in Detroit, like the district, or off of a freeway or something. It's like in your backyard, and you're charging people to park.
Right,
you know?
right,
and
right.
That makes your
wild.
That makes your taxes that year.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus.
They do that in Ann Arbor. Same thing.
Yeah,
4
exactly.
games and those people,
Yeah,
those lots.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
I know somebody that owns one of those lots.
Me too. It's got to be an incredible feeling, though, to be on the. I mean, that's a multi-billion
huge.
person audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a billion viewers.
And televised, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
Do you
The
remember?
same thing opening, or not opening, but a few times we've done Thanksgiving,
Ford
for
Field.
the Lions. You know?
Yeah, I was talking to Massey last night
pretty
about
huge.
Jason. Jason's done the national anthem there.
He has, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For,
and that's got to be scary as hell.
You're sitting out there with a guitar and an amp, it's just like,
Right,
ladies and gentlemen, Jason Krause. You know,
There's things like that are can be really, no matter how comfortable you are playing in front of large crowds, they can be very scary.
Yeah.
You know? I had one
I couldn't
happen
do
just
that.
a few weeks ago. I can do this. I can do it in front of a large crowd. I can play at Woodstock. I can play night after night in front of 15,000 people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me. I don't get nervous about anything. I don't get stage fright. I don't get anything like that. There was career day at my youngest daughter's school. And they're like, would you come in and kind of describe what you do and maybe play some songs on the piano? And I'm like, sure. And I got to do a little speech for these kids. And I'm standing next to one of my neighbors who's also on the PTO. And I'm waiting for the two people in front of me. And I'm like, come on, let's go. I'm gonna do this. And there's the whole fourth grade is, all of them, all 4 classes. And they're sitting on the floor and all of a sudden I just realized I'm like,
yeah.
my chest. And I said, oh my God. I said, I'm more nervous about doing this than I am in playing in front of 20,000.
Isn't that
people.
crazy?
Wow.
Dude, I promise you,
just the
people can relate
weirdest
to that,
feeling,
though.
you know?
Yes, because you
It
know
was
why?
very weird.
You know why? Because it's out of your comfort zone. You were born to do what you do, and it comes through in your voice. It comes through in your playing. I hear you so prominently on every Kid Rock album. Robert Bradley's Blackwater Surprise. Uncle Cracker.
Yeah,
It's
Bellybone.
holy shit, man.
Doing the organ on Bellybone, that first cut on
There's
the
so much-
Robert Bradley record.
Yeah. The other thing, and I don't know that you guys will ever get this opportunity again, but I do remember, I believe it was episode 1 of the HBO hit show Silicon Valley. And I believe episode 1, you guys played. At some like billionaire's house was the storyline.
Yeah, you got better memory than I do.
Oh,
That's one of those things.
I know.
That's
I love
one
that
of those
series.
things.
See if you can find it. I swear to God, I
remember Fashionably Loud. I remember.
How do you not remember that,
I
Jimmy?
remember doing CSI New York with Gary Sinise. That was really fun.
Oh, that'd be cool. You
He's
don't
such a
remember
cool
Silicon
guy,
Valley?
man.
I swear to God, just the very
I
first
don't.
episode. And what I liked about it was
And
like,
we were like playing at a.
it's at a billionaire's house in the backyard. It's
Okay.
all about Silicon Valley billionaires, millionaires, people trying to.
I won't say it didn't happen.
Oh, I know it happened. I can play it for you. But it's why what I thought was really cool though,
Right.
and is it wasn't just Kid Rock and then a bunch of fake actors behind him pretending to play. It was Twisted Brown Trucker.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
thought that was so cool. It's like I don't know how that comes about. Do
Brought
they
in the
the
band.
production flies all of you in? Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we know. Okay, this is what we're doing, and and we're going to do this song, and it's either live or to a track or whatever. And
I want to see you guys
don't wear a white T-shirt because you can't wear white on camera because it just washes everything out.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to say you guys did like Bawa to Ba with pyro and everything in like this billionaire's
I'm sure
backyard.
we did. I'm sure we did. You know.
Is it showing up anywhere, Trav?
I don't remember that. I remember.
Yeah. There you go. I told you I wasn't lying, Jimmy.
I remember this. Now I remember this. Yeah.
Somebody make some motherfucking noise in here! Fuck these people.
Fuck these people.
I just came from a conference. That's exactly how it works.
Right.
Some rocks are up there and they're all on their phones.
Nobody
And-
cares.
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
Okay, yeah, I do remember.
It was a great show.
How do you forget that? That was episode 1 of a smash hit series.
Yeah, Silicon Valley. And all I do remember is we were standing outside and nobody prepared us that it was going to be freezing ass cold.
Oh,
and nobody
in LA?
brought jackets or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's wild.
Yeah, I do remember that. now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Froze
All right.
my ass off.
Jimmy,
Because when you do stuff like that, you see that little section.
Yeah, it took you
there's
hours.
9 hours of hurry up and wait that go along with
That's
it.
got to be so frustrating for you guys to sit around and.
I can think of worse things.
Yeah,
to
true.
do, you know.
True.
True.
What an incredible career, man. Thank you for sharing some of it with us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
I told you
man.
we'd clear an hour and a half easy.
Oh, yeah.
Talking
Are we?
to you. Yeah.
Oh, God.
We're an hour and 40 minutes.
I'm the boring one. Man.
No, don't say that. No, it's been an incredible life, Jimmy, and we certainly appreciate you coming in. Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, man.
And I'm gonna make you stick around for just a few minutes while Massey is still here, but he's gonna head to Ann Arbor. And I'm hoping you guys can come together and just do a jam. We'll throw it in the members area.
Sure.
My guess is you guys can figure something out between the
Yeah, we
Beatles
could.
and everything.
We could, or some blues or something.
Yeah,
or,
for sure. You
know.
Thank you so much, brother, for being
All right.
here.
Thanks for coming,
Thanks for
yeah.
having
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. Let's do
Supposed
it
to say
again.
thanks for being had.
Thanks for being had. Thank you so much, Trav, for being here. I know you took
course.
the red eye
Yeah,
to be here.
yeah.
And,
For this.
for this.
doubt.
Yeah. We
Okay,
don't
after this, get home, go to bed.
go to bed. Yeah.
Take the rest
Walk
of the day
right
off.
past the kids and the wife. Tell Jen she'll be all right. She'll get over it.
Just put your hand up. Gotta go. They'll know.
Not tonight. Not tonight. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. We'll talk at y'all soon.